Reveal Lurrus. I'm kind of a land heavy hand, but I think we keep it. Temur Triome. I think I'll play Delta here. It's pretty unlikely that I want to Lightning Bolt, but keep the option open. Turn 2, Ren and 6 on the play. I think I am going to cast Opt in response, because I'd like to be able to snap Opt on turn 3. And if I don't find another blue card, I'll pitch the Snapcaster, but I want the Opt to be in my graveyard pretty badly. Do 2 more Snapcasters.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
JG87, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. Hope you're having a good day, bud. Appreciate that. Nobody has decided to become unmodded so that they can gamble, which is a foolish decision on their part. I think I'm going to snap Opt now. Hopefully we can find an answer for Uro. We've got a couple of remands. Got 2 Cling to Dust. Bottom? Oh man, flooding out. See if they have a land to put into play. They do. It being a fetch land is really bad because they can just escape Uro. Damn it. Well, I guess we're super dead. I think I'm holding up mana here. If they escape Uro, we can Bolt Snap Bolt the Uro and cry ourselves to sleep. This is opposed to putting Lurrus into the hand. But they also may just not jam Uro into all this open mana. How much real money to bribe you to throw you with this fake money? No, I value my integrity far too much. I feel like the Darkslick Shores are pretty important. Stay frosty. But, I mean, you can figure something out if you have all the Grixis lands, you know? Play more canals. Alright, we drew an Archmage's Charm. I mean, Dago, I think the 4th Teferi, and I hate just to be a broken record, 4th Teferi is pretty important. You can play another Master of Time, you can play the 4th Valakut Awakening in that spot, you could play a Sphinx's Revelation if you wanted to. But I think that you will miss not having the 4th Teferi hero in Jeskai Lotus Field. Uro! Uro is the problem, not the fetch lands. Alright, guess I'm gonna Bauble them and Bolt Snap Bolts. They're drawing a Cryptic Command, which is bad for us. They don't have another threat to deploy. Maybe we're doing okay. They're also probably Scape Shift, seeing double Triome. This matchup gets a lot better post-board, too. So they're going to resolve a Scape Shift here. So I'm going to try to board out all of these spot removal spells. Aether Gust is good in this matchup, I think. Tail's End is not as good. It's good against Ren and 6, and we are on the play, so probably want a couple of copies. It also counters Uro and counters fetch lands, but it's not like they're jamming Teferis or Jaces in this matchup. We can bring in maybe 1 Spellbomb. I also kind of like the second Unearth, though. We've got enough answers for Uro. Can play 2 Unearths. Do I think Omnath Uro deck is a problem? Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily just that one. I kind of think that the 3-color decks are a bit better because they can kind of fight that. Like, the metagame is pretty hostile to the 4-color Uro deck, and I think the 3-color decks are a little more able to fight against, like, the Blood Moons and the Boils and, like, the more aggressive combo decks. But I do think that I like the decks are unfun, and the combination of Field of the Dead, Mystic Sanctuary, and Uro is a bit too powerful, and I'd like to see Uro banned. I think that it is not good to play Scourge of the Skyclaves in a deck that does not have 1 mana aggressive creatures. And that's like basically just a rule, you know. Like, not every deck is fetching and doing a lot of damage to themselves. Alright, cracking the bubble now. Could draw Force if they... Rin 6. Dude, turn 1 Bolt into turn 2 Rin 6 is gnarly. I mean, they don't definitely have a green mana, right? But it's pretty gnarly here. Is there anywhere we can... I mean, yeah, I'm going to be on the Dive Down podcast this week, I think. I think it'll come out this week. There'll be links and stuff when it happens. So I kind of want to Cling to Dust the fetch land my opponent targets with Uro this turn. Or sorry, with Red and 6 this turn. Good day, Blind MTG. Stem the bleeding a bit. Love to draw an Unearth. Putting Lurrus into our hand this turn. I might just go snap Cling to Dust on their Rin and 6 activation. I want to see what my top card is to like try to inform my turn a bit. Snapcaster Mage on top. Yeah, second Snapcaster can maybe pressure the Rin, so like they plus this up to 6, then we snap Cling, attack the Rin down to 4, they ping, we play another Snapcaster Mage next turn, and then if they ping again, their Rin dies. Have I tested Hammer Time? Yeah, a little bit. I think it's pretty good. Why are we fetching after opting? It doesn't matter at all. Is probably the main reason. Why would it matter? This is not a dono deck. This is a deck I like to play from time to time. Been a while since I picked it up. Feels pretty bad, but I think we need to fight over it. I have to let this ability resolve. Yeah, thanks, Frida. I know it's a new day. I'm not stressing about it. Appreciate the love, though. Well, we can also opt into another opt, right? We can opt into something we want to cast off of that mana, or if we don't, we can just fetch and not have to pay 2 life. So I don't know. It feels like it was fine to me. Legacy event is Thursday, and it also starts like at the normal start time of the stream, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Right. Dude, opponent's draw has been so good against ours. But now if we resolve the Snapcaster Mage, we can try to trade Ren and 6 for Snapcaster. They also don't seem like they have they might not have a fetch land for this Ren. I'm probably playing Ants and then gonna get made fun of all day, but I've been playing it recently and been doing well. You know, it's a deck I'm definitely a master of, and it's a deck that I have many times just kind of defiantly played, even when people tell me the metagame isn't good for it, and still done well. So I think I'll just play it, you know. I think we put Lurrus into our hand here. Yeah, it's felt good, you know, every time I've played it recently. The support told me that they couldn't do anything yesterday, which is kind of what I expected. A few mountains away from triggering this, naturally. I guess they could also just kill us if they escape shift, but... see if they have a protection spell. They don't. They trade Ren for Snapcaster. Glad to get that dealt with. Now we need to find a way to deal with their scape shifts. So let's start off with Opts. I feel like our whole deck is just answers to scape shift right now. Okay, that's an answer. They didn't have a protection spell last turn. So we could play Lurrus. Kind of feel like maybe that's a bit too greedy to play Lurrus. Nah, I've decided that it's fine. I've looked into it and it's fine. Yeah, we can kind of go ham here. So we can go Unearth Snapcaster Mage, Snapcaster Unearth on Sprite Dragon, and then play Bauble from the graveyard to trigger Dragon. I think we're gonna play Bauble just so we can try to dig for another counter spell. They have a second scape shift, which they definitely could here. I'm gonna Bauble myself, see if there's something I want to draw into here. There's a Steam Vents. I'm gonna bottom that. Alright, so if they have another scape shift, we're probably toast. I guess we can play the Delta just in case we draw like 3 mana counterspell, and then we need to cast that in Spell Snare. They do have 3 cards in their hand. They don't have a protective counterspell. They could have lands. They could have escape shift for sure. Oh, they're passing back. Oh no. Oh. Everybody breathe a sigh of relief. They're also dead if they have nothing here, so I'm not... They haven't conceded, so we'll see what they're on. Is this Cryptic Command, potentially? Oh, I was supposed to hold up snap Force of Negation here off of the Lurrus rather than... Well, if they... No, they didn't have quadruple green to kill me last turn with second scape shift. Yeah, I could have played around this, so we'll see if we get... how punished we get. My opponent is drawing... We're drawing Tails, and I think we need to shuffle that. They did. I don't think that they did, but we can argue about it forever if you want. I'm talking about the turn that I forced the scape shift. They didn't have quadruple blue, I think. I believe that they played one of these last turn, but 2 turns ago, when we forced the scape shift is what I was talking about. Alright, they didn't get back Cryptic Command, which is a bad sign for us. Lurrus can cast anything during your turn, yeah. So we could have played around this, but whatever. They also could have sanctuaried... Oh, sorry, we exiled the scape shift. Dude, Quicken and the Scape Shift would be sick. Thanks, Jose.
What's up? It's me, your
Glad
friend
they used to like the
Aspiring
stream
Spike.
despite not having the best record. 6 months in a row, hell yeah. Ooh, Trigger Valakut. I mean, they're dead if they don't have anything else. Okay. Close game. On the draw, I'm like way less in love with Tail's End. I think I like the third Unearth though. Play one Spellbomb too. Oh, also, Madison is almost done with the Uro emote. We realized that a little too late that Uro is made of seaweed. We kind of thought that it was trees, and then it all clicked, but should be done soon. It's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, Uro is just made of seaweed. Yeah. But so we've got Uro in the Spider-Man suit, and then chains instead of webs on the train. But we just need to change his head to be like a little more seaweedy. He's also got like a storm cloud on the top of his head too, which is cool. His head looks good. 50% sea, 50% weed. Hell yeah. Yeah, Scourge and Grixis is pretty bad, I think. Turn 2, Ren again. Blah. All 3 games. Alright, gonna jam the dragon. Well, they get to ping my Sprite Dragon. No, they're too afraid. They also just might have a bolt. We can go Unearth and then get the dragon up to at least 2/2. Easy, keep that on top. You cannot Snapcaster Force of Will for the alternate cost. My opponent is drawing a Temur Triome. I call this TSP Spikeblade. Interesting. I've been having a hard time figuring this out. So, this looks pretty similar to TSP Gendrix list, right? Just kind of maybe with like a more aspiring spike style sideboard with the Tails Ends. Or was TSP Gendrick playing Tails End? I can't remember. I think this is a Spellbomb here. We know that they have a Triome, I think, to cycle into this. Now, I've been having a really hard time with these Bant lists, just trying to figure out how I would like to build them. I think that I don't like Teferi Hero of Dominaria so much. I think it's very... I'm not a big fan of the Loam in this list. I think that it's kind of hard to play Stoneforge and Loam. Especially when you already have 28 lands. Field of the Dead in the Stoneblade list is interesting. I see that you've added the Field of the Dead when TSP wasn't playing it. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. The sad part is I kind of feel like this deck is probably just better as a Bant control deck or like a Bant Stoneblade deck, and I don't think Stoneforge Mystic really shines in like the Uro Field of the Dead Archmage's Charm deck. Also, I just don't understand. It's so difficult to play all of these. What has Dispute on top? I guess I kind of want to go Snap Opt now. Then it's just so hard to play Uro and Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2 and have Charm on turn 3. Like, the mana is not good in this deck at all. I would even go as far to say that the mana is bad. and I don't use that word lightly. We could maybe ignore Rin and 6, but I think I'll go ahead and kill it. I also think that if you only want to play 2 equipments for Stoneforge, only play 3 Stoneforge Mystics. But if you want to play 3 equipment, play 4 Stoneforge. And then if you want to play 2 equipment, play 3 has been something I've been preaching for a while. It's an interesting mix match, this idea you got here though. Misties are $70. I mean, they are the best land in Modern. It's not even that close. We know our opponent has Mystical Dispute, so I'm going to be able to play one of these and pay for Dispute here. Ideally. You know, 5/5 Dragon's hard for them to kill. Tarns, I own Scalding Tarns, I think, in paper. Yeah, I do. I just don't own... Yeah, I think it'd be crazy to not snare this, but maybe turns on their Dispute. I own Tarns and Flooded Strands and like 1 Prismatic Vista, but that's all the fetches I own. I'll just let this go so we don't die to Scape Shift. The best land is Field of Dead? No, I think it's Misty. We can argue pointlessly for hours if you want, but this is my opinion. Best or most played? Best. So, yeah, I guess this doesn't beat Veil plus Dispute, but they're floating triple blue. GG! GG. Oof, close game. That is a good question. I don't know. It's very close in my opinion. And what's interesting is if you ban either Field or Sanctuary, then the control decks just go all in on the other one. So if you ban Mystic Sanctuary, the control decks go all in on Field of the Dead. And if you ban Field of the Dead, the control decks go all in on Mystic Sanctuary. And there is tension between the 2 cards in these mana bases, which is the main reason. Like, I don't really like the idea of banning both, but I think if you wanted to ban something out of these decks, you could either ban both Field or Sanctuary or just Uro, and I would prefer just Uro. Not that this is a invitation for endless ban list discussion. Just this is something I've been thinking about, and this is my opinion on the matter. Is Shock in Temple Garden interesting? Looks like maybe a hard cast Force of Negation. If I draw a land, I think I'm going to wait a bit on the Sprite Dragon. Or Archmage Charm is good too, just to hold up and draw 2 in a turn. The hard cast Force on my Archmage's Charm could be a bit awkward, but at least we get to resolve a dragon. Alright, still going to cast a Sprite Dragon. I'm not sure if I'm going to fight over it, though. Yeah, I think we just let this go so that we can Logic Knot or drown a threat of theirs this turn. Ghost Quarter. Lame. Oh, I could have played around Spell Snare by Logic Knotting. That wasn't really on my radar here, though. Do I want to Snap Bolts? I think I'm just casting Lightning Bolts from my hand here, and then holding up Logic Knot plus Snare or Hardcast Force. Just counter their next threat. So they got a 2-for-1 here. We got a 2-for-1 off the Archmage's Charm. Doing okay, potentially. We also have Lurrus, which is kind of like a free 2-for-1. It's a good draw. Alright, get to resolve another charm, which feels really good. I also like that I have another dragon. Dragon's probably dying, but it's okay. We'll just be pretty ahead of on cards. Yeah, I also think that being in the Uro is okay. Camp, that's a fine camp to be in. I disagree, but I get it. I was in that camp for a while. Alright, let me go ahead and clean to dust their Path to Exile. I want to clean Path over Lightning Bolts because if they have Snapcaster, they could just Snap Bolt, but I guess they just also... They also don't play Snapcaster, so... Whatever, I guess. They've got 3 cards. We could put Lurrus into our hand here. I think I'm just going to pass. It wasn't... There wasn't any one thing that made me change my mind on that. It was just kind of me playing the format for months and months, you know? But again, this is not an invitation for in-list ban-list discussions. I think I do just want to keep when I'm very ahead on cards here. So I think I just am happy to take any 1-for-1 I can take, even though this is not a super effective 1-for-1. Any 1-for-1 I think is a good exchange for me in this spot. I think I'm putting Lurrus into my hand this turn. We have Charm plus Force up. Yeah, I'm playing 1 Logic Knot today. I haven't been playing 1 in the past, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. Casting Lurrus into Sprite Dragon here. I guess I'm going double opt too. I think we can shock again. Got Force of Negation up. Bottom of that. Drew the other island anyways. They're down to 1 card. Just dismantling the second Uro deck in Uro. This is game 1 too, where you have all these like dead lightning bolts. We even drew 2 of them. I guess I have nothing to escape with Uro or try to get back with Uro. They might still be dead though. Love to find a Bauble. I play 1 Fatal Push because they're an Omnath deck. We can play 1 Fatal Push, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, or 1 Aether Gust. I guess Gust is better. I do like Unearth a lot in this matchup. I guess they're a Path to Exile deck, but they're also they usually, I think the winning list yesterday was playing 4 Bolt and 4 Path. I think I'm gonna I'll play the second Aether Gust over the third Unearth. This might be the next deck I work on in paper. I think all I'm missing are like 4 Polluted Deltas and the Shores. I don't think I have Cling to Dust, but that's not expensive. I don't have a Lurrus. Lurrus is probably like worth something, but yeah, I guess all I really need to do is pick up Deltas and I have this deck. I've been thinking a lot about Paper Magic. I feel like we'll get some tournaments this year and I want to be ready. I'm gonna keep this. I didn't see Doom Switch's stream last night, but congratulations to Doom for winning. Had Pathfinder to play. If I draw a land, I think I'm not casting the Bauble, but there's like 5. Okay, cool. So yes, I'm not that far away from the deck. What does it say about format when a card like Tailsin is a viable card? I'm not sure that it says anything. Like Tailsin is just a good card. I don't think that it says anything about it really. Tailsin is just a good Magic card. It's it's a really efficient 2-mana answer and answers a lot of things. I would say it more so says things about like people being unable to evaluate cards than it says anything about the format as a whole. I think I'm gonna jam the dragon here. They didn't have Wrenn and 6 last turn. You're gonna bubble on your turn because you have Force of Negation. They're drawing Polluted Delta. Are the deck lists for yesterday's Super Qualifier up somewhere? Not to my knowledge. I just follow a lot of people on Twitter and I often see lists before they get published. I haven't found a third land yet. If we draw a third land, I'm feeling great about our hand. And I guess also assuming this lives, they might path right now. No, they're just getting a Triumph to play around Tail's End. Alright, did not draw a land. Force of Negation is not the worst draw, though. Might run out of Snapcaster if I don't Tail's End something this turn. I usually Tails in things on like the first 2 to 3 turns of the game, but Tails in fetch lands on the first couple turns of the game, but after that I usually will hold it for a bigger threat. But it is really good to counter a land on the first 2 or 3 turns. If we force, I guess I'm pitching Snapcaster Mage. There might be an upkeep pathing. If they main phase path, I think I don't counter it. Purge definitely gets countered though. Glad they didn't play around Force. They did think about it, it seemed. Land. Cling to Dust. Okay, I guess they have 2 Uros in their graveyard, so let's Cling to Dust. Polluted Delta then. So we get to draw a card, and then also, like, it does make it harder for them to escape Uro. Alright, attack them from 8 as well. My hand has 0 devotion to blue. What are you talking about? I guess, sorry, 1 devotion to blue. Are Uro and Bloodmoon the 2 format-defining cards right now? I would say that the format-defining cards are Monastery, Swiftspear, Uro, Primeval Titans. You can maybe make an argument for Field of the Dead instead of Primeval Titan, though. Yeah, Uro, Primeval Titan, Swiftspear, more so than Bloodmoon. There's not that many Bloodmoon decks. It was like seeing a resurgence in popularity, and I think it's dipped again, honestly. 3 blue mana to Ashiok. Dude, bringing in Ashiok is kind of sus in this matchup. But, of course, it's immediately good. We can just attack them. Feels kind of reasonable to me, but I gotta kill the Ashiok. I don't know. If we kill anything, they can maybe escape Uro. I'm just gonna attack them. I'm just attacking them. If we kill a Planeswalker, they're like pretty likely to be able to escape Uro. And it seems like they don't have a ton of good answers to Sprite Dragon because they haven't been playing answers to Sprite Dragon yet. Is Blue-Green Eldrazi Deep Fiend playable in Modern? I played it when Oko was legal. And I did a lot of winning with that deck, but that was probably just because Oko was really good. Alright, probably dead now. Found the land, maybe a turn too late. Let's go to game 3. Yeah, they can mill themselves. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, we should have killed Ashiok. I think we're still losing either way. Keep. I think I'm just gonna bobble on my turn, looking for a 2-drop. Also keep an opt on top. There's a tail. That's a 2-drop. I think I'm fetching Watery Grave end of turn because we need double black for Lurrus, but we don't need double red for anything. Have I liked Logic not more than 3rd round? I haven't played enough to like really with this 75 to make a super informed decision, but that is what my gut is telling me to play. Yeah, I'm still pretty embarrassed about yesterday's accidental drop from the super qualifier. But today's a new day. I think it's healthy to feel embarrassment when you do an embarrassing thing, you know? Just like the way you're supposed to process it, but not, you know, let it actually affect you. Yeah, I was playing a teamer cube. I was 3-1 in yesterday's draft. For those of you who weren't there, I was 3-1 in yesterday's super qualifier, and I was doing a teamer cube draft, and I thought my deck was really bad, and I wanted to just drop and then do a new one, and I was looking at my deck. I hit the X button from looking at the deck, which instead of opening the drop menu, closed that window to open up the page for the super qualifier. And then I just brain farted and typed drop in the box and got dropped. Definitely felt pretty bad, but I think we put Lurrus into our hand here. Well, if we put Lurrus into our hand, we have to discard a card. We're not holding up mana. Alright, let's play the Canal. Yeah, shit happens. I'm embarrassed by it, but, you know, it's a new day. And I was already aware that all I know how to do is play Magic. I'm not good at doing anything else. My actual problem with Titan decks is that you get to free roll Cavern. I don't know exactly what you mean by free roll, but I also think that it feels a bit silly to complain about Cavern when they've given you Aether Gust now. Just think, I feel like those two cards are living in perfect harmony, you know? And so my opponent has a Bolt in their hand, I guess. Like, that used to be my problem with Titan decks, but now we just have Aether Gust, it's fine. Opponent hit land after stumbling for a bit. I think I want to snap draw 2 before my opponent can get up to like a 3rd mana here. If my opponent, like, I'm not sure how my opponent's going to fight over this, if they're going to fight over this at all. Yeah, it was a cool story. We got to, you know, it's memorable. I think that you want all your fetches to be blue, but I don't think I think 2 Myers would be fine replacements for this deck because you don't play Sanctuary. They're like not as good as the blue fetches, but you can play them. They're flooding out a bit. I keep seeing messages like that everywhere in chess. I don't know. It's so I don't know. It's supposed to be a new internet meme or something. But Esther tells me that all the time. Athena even said that to me the other day. I don't really get the joke though. Well, in this deck you have Lurrus to kind of be your insulation against mana flood. Dude, they're ghost quartering themselves so they can play Rin 6? It's interesting. Oh, I didn't force it. Why didn't I force this? Oops. It's fine. Don't need to force that. It is pretty bad if they can escape Uro, but they need to draw a land to escape Uro. Or I guess they can ghost quarter themselves, but I think I'm fine to jam Lurrus here. We can kill the Uro down the line with the Drown. And getting this down with 2 Force of Negations up is pretty nice. Like, I kind of think my opponent's going to, instead of escaping Uro, bolt here. Then we have 2 forces to protect. I think I'm pitching Logic Knot first. Maybe Tail's End. Probably the Tail's End first. Tail's End, then I guess we'll see. Yeah, Flooded Strand might be better than Bloodstained Mire if you have both. I mean, this deck does play a Blood Crypt, and it is important to get it sometimes. Maybe like a 1-to-1 split. If you have both but don't have the Scalding Tarns. I really want to buy... I have a Onslaught Flooded Strands. And I know everybody hates those, but I like them. But I want to buy Onslaught Polluted Deltas to match them, but they're a good bit more expensive than the Cons ones. Might just buy Cons. I mean, people like Onslaught fetches, but they tend to really dislike specifically Onslaught Flooded Strands. But I like them. I think they look good. Want to play? No, I don't want foil Onslaught ones. I'm not rich enough for that. Need like 5 or 6 more subscribers. Then I can afford them. So they are going to Ghost Quarter themselves here, again, to escape Uro. I do not understand why 20 9 lands should be a problem to find. I get it. What's my favorite modern deck of all time? I really like Jeskai Nahiri. That's what comes to mind. I also really like Twin. I really like the Throne of Eldraine Grixis control deck that I brewed up and had a lot of success with on stream and before Uro came out. I really like Jeskai Lotus Field. I really like Sharkblade. I really like Miracles. I've got a lot of decks I like. They discard Hour of Promise. This is a good draw. The Sprite Dragon. Yeah, I miss Affinity too. Alright, they're going to get to attack with Uro, but we're pretty ahead. Is there a dragon skeleton in the fetchland art? If yes or no. Dude, I do like the Cons Flooded Strand. I think the Cons Flooded Strand is my favorite of the Cons arts, but I also really like the Onslaught Flooded Strands, and I like them more than the Cons. But I do love the dragon skeleton. If I was to relive a matchup, what would it be? I've never thought about that. Do I get to make different decisions? Or do I just get to like experience it again? Well, my opponent doing nothing stinks for me. I think I'm going to cycle my Remand and grow the dragon a bit. I get to... If I could do things differently, I would play around the one of Vendilion Click that my Merfolk opponent had in the last round of the Legacy PT. I guess I want that to go to the graveyard so I can drown the Uro. So we can kill Rin and then drown Uro. I could have played around it, but I think maybe I couldn't have. But for those of you who don't know the story, I'm an old washed-up Magic player, of course, like most people in this chat. And I was playing the Legacy Team Pro Tour. I was in the Legacy of the Team Pro Tour. I was playing Ant. I was playing against Merfolk. My opponent was Hellbent. They top decked a card. I could beat Daze. And they obviously couldn't Force of Will because they only had one card. And their one card was a Vendilion Click, and it broke up my combo. And I lost that match. It would have been for top 8 of that event, but top 4 mattered for that event. But it would have been another PT invite. It would have been a big deal. And now I'm a Twitch streamer. Why do we attack them with Snapcaster and Rin with Lurrus? What do you mean? we did that so that we could kill the Rin, and still. Maybe I attacked wrong, but I thought did I not send Sprite Dragon and Snapcaster with them and Lurrus with Rin? That's what I meant to do. If I did not do that, then oops. Rin was at 2 loyalty. Oh, I see. Then yeah, sure. We missed a point of damage. I did get to play on a PT with friends, and that's always gonna be a memory I really cherish for sure. Still like my favorite tournament I've ever played. I think we have to let Path resolve because we need to be able to counter the Uro on the way back out. Feels bad, but the dust is settled. We're slightly ahead here, I think. That was a bad draw, though. You would have been a Twitch streamer regardless. I don't know that I would have. At least it wouldn't have happened the same way. No, honestly, I'm not even sure that I would have met Esther if I... Maybe I would have, but... My whole life would have been different if my opponent hadn't top decked the Vendilion Click. My entire life would have been different. It's kind of funny to think about. Yeah, I'm really happy with where my life is at now. I do feel a bit like the uncle from Napoleon Dynamite talking about this, but I'm really happy and it's fine. But it is just kind of funny to think if my opponent had drawn any other card in their deck, my life would be different. Not necessarily better, just different. Yeah, that's life. That's what all the people say. Dude, if they have a Veil Summer here, it's so sick. Be the best Veil of Summer ever. Well, they haven't conceded yet. I guess they're hoping I just skip through my attack step. Because what can they have off of Breeding Pool? Have they played a land? Nope. 2-0, playing against 2 different Uro piles. With our spicy Grixis deck. But I might play Sultai. I'm gonna keep this hand. I might play Sultai. I think you have to Bauble here, even though you really want to save it for the dragon. But I'm not sure what I'm gonna play yet. There's an Archmage's Charm on top. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle that away. Opponent did not reveal Lurrus, but is playing Bloodstained Mire, so I am going to expect this to be the red-black mid-range deck. Now that they've cast Shriekhorn, let's read what this does. They can enters with 3 counters. They can remove a counter to mill a player for 3, so they can like mill over Seasoned Pyromancers and Croxas and escape them. Doesn't seem very good to me, if I'm being honest. Alright, we do have 2 Nihil Spellbombs for this matchup. This is Dredge. And we have 2 main deck Cling to Dust, so we'll see if that's enough. I think your Sprite Dragon was just a 10-10. Yeah, kind of small. This is Dredge. Thanks, chat. Thanks. I thought for sure they were trying to make Croxus better, but it makes more sense for this to be Dredge. That could be John trying to mill over lands to get back with Red and 6. Well, yeah, it does make it's an artifact for Goyf. It's pretty strong. I guess. I want to draw Force of Negation off this Bauble really badly. Doesn't really matter who we target here. Let's target you. Just doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I think Dredge is pretty good right now, but I also think it's developing more of a target on its head. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't expect that Dredge will still be as good on Friday. I think the meta will adjust. All right, we're super cool to this Conflagrate. Let's go to game 2. All right, I hate Fatal Push and Lightning Bolt in this matchup. I may still play some Bolts, I guess, and not feel very good about it. Unearth is also like not really good. Tails End does counter fetch lands when you're on the play, which is actually pretty good in this matchup, and counters the Ox ETB and counters like Prize Amalgam Trigger, which is not good, or Creeping Chill is not that good. But I think it's just better than Unearth or Bolt or Push. On the play, at least. But counting a fetch land can just end the game in this matchup.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark
Cognac,
Typhoon.
7 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Yeah, last week Dredge was Dredge. I mean, that's how Dredge is. When there's like not a lot of graveyard hate and the format is kind of slow like it is right now. Dredge. That being said, I've been playing Sultai and Bant, and I've just been able to beat Dredge without graveyard hate in my deck. So I don't know if I'm really supposed to start playing graveyard hate in those decks. If I just feel like I have an okay matchup without it, and I lose a lot of points in other matchups if I include graveyard hate. When I say Dredge is one of those decks that's easy enough to beat with preparation, I would say that it is maybe like the defining deck for that, to characterize it that way, yeah. I'm going to keep this. You have Cleaning and Force, and do you have Tails End? I would say that there's almost no deck that meets that criteria more than Dredge. Like, if you want to beat... Any deck can beat Dredge if they want to, by playing enough pieces of graveyard hate. Cycle's Forgotten Cave. I want a Tails End to fetch land. Yes. Good, good, good. It's all come together, gamers. Maybe not. What events are going on today? There's a Pioneer PTQ at 3 p.m. I don't know if I'm going to play in it. I think I will play in it if it's 7 rounds. But not if it's more than that. I'm going to be playing it off stream either way. Yeah. I don't think that it's going to be 7 rounds, but like if it is 7 rounds, it's going to be too much value to pass up on. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Got a land heavy hand. My opponent has the nuts. They have a turn 4 Stinkweed Imp. Oh no, I can't even make that joke anymore because after yesterday, I can't even make this joke anymore. It's so bad. Yeah, I'm excited to be on the dive down tonight. I think it's gonna be a good time. There'll be links and stuff, when it's out. I think we put Lurrus into our hand here. Yeah, I think that joke is dead after yesterday. Damn it, that was one of my favorite jokes too. But there are some memes that cannot be, and there are some PTQs we cannot weather. I get to Remand Creeping Chill. Feels pretty good. It's a pretty good draw. Do it. Cast it again. Lightning Axe discarding Creepy Chill. What was their keep? What in the world was my opponent's keep? I'm so confused. I think we drowned this? Might Force. Yeah, let's use Force. I mean, it's just all lightning axes, maybe. Get out of here, Creeping Chill. Why did they bring in all these lightning axes just to kill Sprite Dragons? I feel like it's a bad plan. My opponent's hand was 3 lightning axes, and our Lurrus dies, but my opponent is now no cards in hand, nothing in the graveyard besides a Forgotten Cave, all in on Stinkweed Imp. It's a good place to be. Let's see what their top card is. What's with these 588 viewers? This is just like a normal day now. Shane, the stream's been going well lately. This doesn't feel very good, but we do need to deal with this Stinkweed Imp at some point, and we're also incredibly far ahead, so I'm going to snap Drown and then Cling to Dust. Oh, but my opponent sees the line and goes to game 3.
Welcome, Spikelings,
Shane
to the
gifting
Shark
10
Typhoon.
subs. Oh my gosh. Shane, favorite host of the favorite Dive Down podcast. Don't tell Dave and Stan. But I'm going to be on the Dive Down podcast tonight, and so there's going to be links and stuff when that's out. Are we doing it? Are you past 100? Yeah, you're at 107 now. That just passed you 100. 100 gifted subs, which is wild. Are we recording live on Twitch? Because I know you guys have been doing that lately.
The Shark Typhoon.
Or are we just doing it how we usually do? I'll be looking at the show notes after today's stream too. But welcome to Alex is a Din, Archmage, Deputy,
welcome,
Kin,
Spikelings,
Archmage is
Shark
lurking.
Typhoon.
I think you probably have to keep this against Dredge. Let me think about it some more. Kogamo, Predicted, BM, EM, Emerald, Mango, Poopy. My opponent mold the 6. I mean, we could try to mold this Nihil Spellbomb.
Welcome, Spikelings,
I think this is fine,
to
though.
the Shark Typhoon.
The Dive Down is a podcast. A podcast for the casual Spike kind of is their appeal. They go over like a lot of deck lists, talk about Magic stuff. I've been on there a bunch of times. They're my favorite podcast to go on.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, I'm down to do it on Twitch. That's cool. No biggie.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark
So you
Typhoon.
can watch live if you guys want to watch it live. You can follow the Dive Down Shane, and tonight we'll be streaming it.
What's up? It's me, your
scared
friend,
of this
Aspiring
ox.
Spike.
Right. How many more of these do we have to listen to though? Probably should have maybe turned it off sooner. I think I'm pitching Tails End if I have to force here.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Maybe that was bad because they're about to Ox. Yeah, because they can Dredge and then Ox here.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
They might cast Loam this turn. They did Dredge the Loam. If they Loam, am I going to force? If I force, I can't counter the Ox next turn with Archmage's Charm. I think I'll just let Loam resolve. Yeah, I probably should just turn off. I think like the old sub notification was good to like let ride, but this one is maybe a bit much. Big mistake tossing Tails End. I don't know. I kind of feel good about it now that we didn't get Ox last turn. My opponent's hand is now Gemstone Mines. And then they dredged. What did they dredge? Oh, dude, hitting a Bloodghast is pretty bad for us here. You have to let Loam resolve again. Well, they could have dredged Golgari Thug to get to Ox there. Was why that could have been potentially really bad for us. Well, Shit. Nas, thank you for your subscription as well. It's nice of you.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Maybe we're supposed to mulligan this hand and just try, like, maybe you just can't keep Force of Negation on the draw. I'm not sure. I'm gonna play some ants in the Legacy PTQ, yeah. That's like the plan right now. But I'm gonna dwell on it, you know? I'm gonna think about it before I just do it. Yeah, not quite another hype train, but I appreciate the effort at chest. Ant stands for Ad Nauseam Tendrils and is one of the Legacy Storm variants, and it's my favorite deck in Magic. My favorite deck to play in Magic the Gathering. Pretty dead here. I'll take a draw step or two. Is Force not better on the draw? It is. I mean, it's good either way, but all we had really was the Force of Negation, and like one Force of Negation is not going to be enough to survive. And well, like, but we could like a mulligan if we found like a Nihil Spellbomb or like a Cling to Dust and a 2-mana counterspell. I just think that there are definitely better 6-card hands, and I think that hand was just not very likely to win. Maybe. I've seen those decks floating around. I kind of feel like they're maybe a little too smart for their own good, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot going on, and I think they sacrifice some consistency and even maybe some power level to feel smart. So I'm playing this, so if they go Ren and 6 here, I can Cling to Dust the land they get back. I think it's more likely I want to do that than cast Bolt. You made it. Good job. Good job, Rido, making it to 30,000 channel points. Well, I'm pretty happy that Lightning Bolt is better this turn, honestly, because I usually prefer when that's the case. Right on time, Snare. Yes. In fact, this list was initially based off of a Modern Challenge winning list. Right when Ikora came out, that was playing a very similar shell to this with Delver of Secrets, back under the old Companion rule. And I did a lot of work on this list and this archetype back under the old rule, and found that it was better without Delver. Sadly. But if you really like Delver, like this is the shell for you. I'm just gonna pass with this. Look at your new icon, the 100 gifted subs. Jeez, that's a flex. It's a good flex. Bant versus Grixis. Gonna get a Bant Triome here. Weird. Why did they get Temple Garden instead of the Bant Triome? Kind of like going Dragon with Remand up here. There isn't a Bant Triome? Oh, okay. Thanks. I was so confused. That would make sense. I'm not supposed to shock here, but they're a Path to Exile deck, so I kind of want to leave my 2 basics in there. Oh, I could have got the Grixis Triumph, yeah. Sure thing, a chest. No Teferi, no Teferi, no Teferi, no Teferi. Fine. Take this Force of Negation and get out of my sight, opponent. Shocking and passing. They got 2 cards left in their hand. We have Lurrus and Cling to Dust right now. Let me go ahead and start off by casting Opt, I think. I guess I could have escaped to Cling and Lurrus this turn. I think I'm gonna put the Force into my hand to protect my Lurrus for next turn. I don't have anything to get back with it, but I think it's, you know, we can just easily draw a Bauble or just, you know, race this Ice Fang with a 3/2 lifelinker. Yeah, that flavor command was just taken from a YouTube comment, and it's perfect. I don't really want to know if it was a bit or not. I kind of think it was real. I'm not sure, but I think that the comment was made unironically, which is perfect. But I don't want to know if it was a bit. I want to believe in something. I do think that we'll probably see a Force of Negation reprint this year. I hope that we do. I hope that we do see one. They sack their Grove. Yeah, I don't think you can play Sanctuary in this deck. I think that the colors are too harsh. And you curve out kind of cheaply. If there's a Grixis Triumph, which there's not, I would reconsider. You know, there's no banned Triumph yet, but I will say that as soon as there is one. As soon as there is a banned Triumph, Uro cannot be legal, I think. There's like no way. They Mana Leak. I guess that's fair. You gotta get your value and at this point in the game. It does feel bad that we didn't draw a Bauble and then they exiled our 2 dragons, but the life linking is super relevant here. Uro, should it be legal as is? Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I agree. But I will say that, like, if the Bant Triumph comes, Uro is going to be so much stronger than it already is. Opponent's got 2 cards in their hand. One of their cards is relevant here. Probably a Force of Negation. A Cryptic Command. How do you drown a Cryptic Command? Just pour water on the magic and then the magic stops working. I guess I'm clean to dusting first because I have haste creatures in my deck. Do you want to fetch just to escape over it? Probably, yeah. I think I have one more target. Yeah, I'm just going to get tapped. About to gain 3 life. Yeah, not leaving an Ice Fang back is a bit weird, I agree. Drew another land. Alright. Oh, gross. We're doing a League of the Jeskai, Lotus, and Pioneer tomorrow, so I'm glad that there's some buzz around it. Probably should have only attacked with 1 because they have Exalted here. Unearth is much worse against decks with all exile-based removal, so I guess we're cutting it. I kind of think that 4 bold 2 push is a pretty good split of removal. I probably also want to play like 1 or 2 Force. I would play mono green Planeswalkers in the Pioneer PTQ. Kind of down for like the first Tails End and the first Explosives. think I'll Bauble on turn 1. Nice to draw Bauble to go with the Lurrus, of course. There's an island on top. I think I don't really want to draw that. The very first deck I ever streamed with was a Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. I guess I'll keep a Lightning Bolt. That played Scale Up and Prowess creatures. That was pretty cool. It definitely felt playable. I five-wood a few leagues with it at the time. I don't know if it still is. Excuse me. I almost boot up a league with it every once in a while and then decide to play something else.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Absolute flips. Thank you for your subscription. Lots of new subscribers today. Feeling very grateful. Hashtag blessed. What is my opponent thinking about here? Do I cast the Ice Fang? Yeah, I'll cast Ice Fang. I've got 2 mana on their end step. Okay, I'll cast it. Oh, but they could Tails in my Ice Fang ETB. I guess that's an okay exchange. Do we just pass? Are they playing around Blood Moon? Oh, they had a Prairie Stream in their hand, I see. Fair enough. I think I'm going to snap Opt here. I'm kind of like trying to trade resources when I've got Lurrus that I would like to put in my hand. Like go Lurrus in the hand plus hold up Logic Knot next turn. I'll keep another Snapcaster though, and then we'll probably go snap Archmage's Charm on their end of turn. And then I'll get a blue land here, that way if we draw Archmage's Charm, we can play Archmage's Charm plus a Logic Knot. We were 3-1 drop yesterday, Proob. 3-1 drop. What? Why did you drop at 3-1, Spike? Oh, it's a long story, my child. It's a long story. If I switch over to Dark Souls, I'd be the #2 Dark Souls streamer on Twitch. Who's #1? Is Hob live? Dude, is Hob live? The Happy Hob Dark Souls streamer is 4 games in deep on his God Run 2. So I really want to watch that today. I heard from support, and I heard that there's nothing they can do, and it's kind of what I was expecting. Yeah, there's the clip. I thought I was dropping from my Teamer Cube draft, and I wasn't. Oops. Not Hob. Okay. Nine cards in hand. Opponent has cast 1 spell this game. We also have 2 lightning bolts. They can't take too much more damage. That kind of explains what their hand looks like, right? I think we let this go. It's a pretty good bolt target. Yeah, it was brutal, Fran. Also, Fran, congrats on your showcase top 8. But it was bad, and I'm still pretty embarrassed about it, but that's fine. I think embarrassed is the right emotion to feel in a moment like this. Do I have a third Watery Grave I can get? Because if I do, I'll keep that. If I don't, I won't. I think I have a third Watery Grave. Let me double check. Yeah, I do. The clip would go viral on YouTube. I think that it'd be fine if it didn't, right? Because I'd rather people know me as a guy who has like good ideas about Magic sometimes, rather than the idiot who dropped from the PTQ. You know. Yeah, I got to play Pathfinder, which was really nice, and I got to hang out with Esther. I had a good rest of the day, and I had a really good stream up until that moment too. Like the stream was going great. I like 5-0'd my practice league. I got the Nassif raid. We had a really cool Teamer Cube draft. We were 3-1. I felt like I was playing super tight all day. I just made one little mistake, and it was bad. My opponent paths my Uro. What do I do about it? Is this tap draw? Alright, just let that resolve. Yeah, one huge mistake, you know, what are you gonna do? I'll learn from it, be a little embarrassed, and, you know, wake up the next day. Yeah, we had some great matches. Like, I don't know. It's fine, you know. I've looked into it and I've declared that it's fine. Now, everybody's going to make mistakes. It's how you handle them that defines you, my son. Yeah, bottom the Bauble. And I guess we can clean Cryptic Command. They're really, if they can't really snap Cryptic anything here. Do I want to escape Cling to Dust? Probably should. Probably should. Just kind of tap me out, but what are they going to do? If they just tap my team again, I just want to keep drawing cards. This is like just so fine with me. I'll just continue to push my advantage. Push, I don't have to... I guess I don't have to discard if I play a land anyways, but... I think this Fatal Push is meeting this Ice Fang, either way. Alright. Let's fight! Counter target Path to Exile. KO! KO! Alright. What was my opponent's hand? That was awesome. The deck is pretty hard to sideboard against, which I feel like is like the biggest strength of bans. Like your deck is so hard to sideboard against. I think this is a fine configuration. Maybe with the third Force on the draw. Kind of like that, honestly. Currently playing against a Sultai Urapai with Zura's Weirding. How I am. Everybody loves Zura's Weirding. It's definitely a fan favorite card. Would I ever do a Dono deck with Teferi, Spellcaller, Delay? Absolutely. Yeah. Teferi, Mage of Zalafir is pretty good with Spellqueller and Delay. If I draw a dragon, I'm going to hold the Bauble. If not, I'll just Bauble myself. EE, a Primeval Titan. So you have to be playing something to put charge counters on your EE. It's kind of interesting. Hopefully they don't Ice Fang in response to my opts. Be fine, I guess. Cycles Veil of Bummer, so their hand is land light. We could keep this Darkslick Shores. I think I will. Well, you don't necessarily have to be a proliferate deck. You can play like Core Tapper, or like that one artifact to put artifact counters or charge counters on your guys. Now I'm kind of regretting keeping the Shores now that I've drawn 2 lands. It's weird that Fran is in the chat when I've drawn a couple extra lands. There's a Sprite Dragon on top. I think I'm just drawing the dragon. Well, we could put Lurrus into our hand here, and then force the Teferi. And then get to play Lurrus with Snare up. Seems probably pretty good. Blue-white ephemeral deck that's playing Delay and Spellcaller and Teferi. It's interesting. I like a lot of those cards. Yeah, Force of Negation is always just so good in this deck. With Lurrus specifically. Moments like this. They're drawing Misty Rainforest, so they were missing lands, and we knew they had a land light hand because they cycled the Veil like that. But now they found land number 4. They have a second Fawn Raveler. I will see if they have a path. If they path, I hope that they... Yeah, if they path, I'll play Lurrus. If they don't, I think I'm just holding up Logic Knot plus Snare. I think I'll just hold it up off of Grave. Kind of be interesting if they're holding a path for Lurrus this turn. That would be like a pretty interesting... I don't know. Play. Well, Gaia's Blessing is weird to sight in, but I'll Spell Snare it. I guess I don't need to... Oh, sorry, I thought I had 1 less mana than I did. I didn't need to fetch here. It was better to hold the fetch for the Bauble Scry, but that was going to be that big a deal. Could also pay for Mana Leak. I don't know. I mean, Gaia's Blessing is a card that kind of does something against the graveyard, right? It's like, I would board in Gaia's Blessing against Dredge. This doesn't have Death Touch, so... Hey Emma, how's it going? Did I see the new Sea Monster Kaldheim preview? I talking about I saw the Simic one. There's a new one? Is it mono blue? Because I can't stand another Heartbreak, because the Simic one can't go with my EDH deck. Seattle Kraken? Seattle Kraken? Whoa! 12 mana. Spell costs 1 less for each snow land you control. No! No! Oh my, I don't have snow islands. When Icebreaker Kraken enters the battlefield, artifacts and creatures target opponent don't control don't untap during next player's untap step. Return 3 snow lands to owner's hand. Return it to its owner's hand. This card's awesome. There is some tension there between my other Krakens that sacrifice my lands and needing a bunch of snow lands in play, but I feel like that's exactly the kind of tension will be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll just play it with regular basics. It'll be fine. But I will I think include that into my EDH deck. There's a couple cards I've been wanting to cut that aren't super on theme. I'm also trying to keep an even ratio of unplayable Krakens and playable ones. So I need to keep that in mind too. Like, that one is like... I would put it into the playable camp. I don't show and tell my Krakens, but I do play Quest for Ula's Temple to cheat them into play. So you can snap, Spell Snare, Ice Fang here. And I also play the Quicksilver Amulet. And I play like one more. I think I play Mind's Desire too. I play Mind's Desire to try to Mind's Desire into a bunch of Krakens. I think there might be one way I have to cheat them into play. That's the last rare of the set. Cool. I was maybe supposed to counter that, but I don't think I need to. We'll find a removal spell. I guarantee it. Dude, a didgeridoo for Krakens would make my whole life. It would be so cool. I think like a lot of people nerd out for dragons, and I'm just kind of the same way about Krakens and sea monsters. I just think they're neat. Yeah, there's a magic card called Didgeridoo that allows you to cheat Minotaurs into play. LSV thinks the new Foretell Wrath may be one of the best Wraths ever. I mean, it might be like top 5 for standard. I think that it's absolutely absurd. For older formats, I'm much lower on it. Especially because like if it's the only playable Foretell card, your opponent just gets to play around it perfectly. I guess I was probably supposed to clean this now, but also if they just escape it, we have a ton of counter spells. All right. Let's fight. Let's fight. Let's do it. Opponent did not want to fight last time. Maybe I'm supposed to counter this with Archmage's Charm, actually. Maybe I'm supposed to go Cling to Dust first? No, let's go counter. Yeah, I think I want to do this, so like I have to Logic Knot for less if I do Logic Knot. Blah. Maybe we could just let Path Resolve here. Nah. So next has got to be 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doomstar is going to be 3rd all-time White Wraths behind Terminus and Verdict. I don't know. Toxic Deluge probably beats it. Ugh. This is bad. Toxic Deluge, I think, beats it. But maybe 4th. It is going to be incredibly good in Standard, I think. But I'm just not so convinced about older formats. But it's also like Wraths aren't that good at older formats right now. White, okay, yeah, I didn't see the white part of the comment. But yeah. We also have a bunch of lightning bolts in our deck we can draw here. Yeah, we have not drawn a lightning bolt yet. We have 4 in the deck. Let's just draw one. Just draw one, gamer. Easy. I'm not planning on playing the Pioneer PTQ. I'm recording the Dive Down podcast. I'll be playing the Legacy one on Thursday, and then the Modern one on Friday. But I might not be streaming the Modern one on Friday because it starts at a really weird time. All right, so we are 3-1. We do have a channel point prediction on the line here. For 4-1 or better. I think I'm leading on Scalding Tarn. How many channel points to tell you what's wrong with your internet? It's doing the thing where it doesn't work. Your internet service provider is probably getting fat off of your money while not ever upgrading their infrastructure or their service, and they're laughing at you in their board meetings. Playing against Bad Nauseam, which is a good matchup. I'm going to get a Steam Vents tapped. Although our hand isn't necessarily good against them. But it is a good matchup, I think. Could be Dredge. They suspended Lotus Bloom, but sure. If we're keeping the other joke alive, yeah. Pintide Prism? It's kind of scary. Yeah, we get to get rid of these lightning bolts post-board. Tailsend is fine against them. I guess we don't necessarily have a ton of stuff. Explosives is okay, because it kills Lotus Bloom, but also kill this, or Phyrexian Unlife. Any thought of... No, this is not a Temur Battle Rage deck. It's only good with Sprite Dragon. You only have 4 Sprite Dragons, and it's only good when your Sprite Dragon lives and stays alive for like a really long time. We might just be able to kill them if they don't have Angel's Grace. So I think we remand this. Another Bolt kills them, and that Snapcaster kills them. Sprite Dragon might do it. This is all, of course, assuming they don't have Angel's Grace, but they might not. Polluted Delta on top. Well, let me just see if they're dead, and then I'll fetch if they aren't. Turn 4 kill? Question mark? Yes! Sick. Alright, so we're gonna play the Tailsends. Aether Gust stops Veil of Summer. That's it, which is not that much. So we can maybe just play Lightning Bolts, which won't be that good. I think I like Explosives, the first Unearth, and the first Bolts. But we have a ton of counter spells and, you know, cheap pressure, so I feel good about the matchup. Yeah, Sprite Dragon kills super fast. You've been playing Blue-White Miracles for months against friends. They play Black-Green Yawgmoth, Red-Black Prowess, Stoneblade, and Blue-White Control. Should I put this Grixis Dragon? I think that Grixis Dragon would be fine against them. I don't think this deck is that soft to removal. Like you just like take your 1-for-1 and then you get your 2-for-1 with Lurrus, with Charm, with Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, I don't think this deck is like super soft to removal spells. Like I don't play these decks where I play my Sprite Dragon or play my Delver of Secrets and then just counter everything that targets it. That's really just not a viable strategy. I just kind of like play my threats. If they die, they die, and I'll just like play the long game. So we can Tails End the Lotus Bloom, a 3rd trigger, and it's nice that they can't Veil of Summer that Tails End. We have another Pintide Prism. Prism would be good here. Whoa. Do we lose to Grand Abolisher? I have 1 Lightning Bolt in my deck. Okay, Grand Abolisher. During your opponent's turn, you can't cast spells, activates, artifacts, or enchantments. Activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. This was on my radar, loosely. I have 1 Explosives and 1 Bolt. They have 2? Oh, no. Oh, they have a Unlife. Okay. Well, I mean, it's bad, too. Okay, that answers Abolisher. We could just be dead, though, because their Lotus Bloom is coming down this turn. But if it's not, we can get Abolisher off the field, have Force of Negation up. They have 3 cards in their hand. We're dead to Ad Nauseam. Alright, they have it. I guess I'll see how they sideboarded. Run Spell Pierce. I have not seen Veil of Summer yet. Oh, there's one. One Veil, one Spell Pierce, one Mystical Dispute. Only one Grand Abolisher? They left one card in their library, or sorry, we have one card in their library, then there's a couple in their hand we didn't know about. They just have, I mean, so they might have more than that. But if it's just one, good beats. Feels bad. Alright. We play bolts now. Pass. Submit again. We also have 2 Spell Snares. Get to be on the play for game 3. I'm feeling okay. Good tech opponent. Oh, we also had Drought under the Loch as outs. Although I don't know if they had 2 cards in their yard at the time. They only had 1 card left since his reveals 48 and 49 in hands. Well, it just said that they had 1 card left in their library. They stopped revealing because they didn't need to reveal anymore. But it tells you how many cards they have in their library. Alright, reveal Lurrus. Don't have an answer to Grand Abolisher in this hand, but it seems silly to me to mulligan turn 2 Sprite Dragon with Force of Negation and a blue card. Well, it's 1 unknown card in their library, and I believe that they had 2 unknown cards in their hand, right? They're making a Willy Wonka prequel called Wonka. Man, I really am glad that nobody ever has a new idea. I'd have to like invest and learn a new character's name. Is anything this world needed was more Willy Wonka adaptations. I've been saying it for years. What is filled with net deckers? Wise words. Yeah, the prequel to Boruto 2 is kind of the same thing. Pinhead Prism? I think I will. No, they have the Lotus Bloom coming down. I don't think we can afford to fight them on mana. Felt close though. I think we put Lurrus into the hand. Be pretty good if we draw a Bauble. Their bloom is coming down in 2 turns. Okay, we're officially not fighting them on mana. Or maybe that was already official. We know that they have Spell Pierce and Dispute in their deck, so I don't know that we necessarily want to tap out for Lurrus here. Just kind of free to put him in the hand last turn. Our library has not been very kind to us this game. But my opponent only has 2 cards. We've got a counter spell. They need, if their hand is, ad nauseam Angel's Grace protection spell, we lose, but does not seem to be the case. Maybe run out of Snapcaster. Not sure about this. Felt okay. Now I wish I still had another Snapcaster to Snap Bolt end of turn, but got some meaningful pressure now. We've got a counter spell. Are they dead to Snap Bolt end of turn? They are. But then we lose to Angel's Grace ad nauseum. So I guess it's not an option. Snare is a draw. I think we can afford to Snap Bolts. I mean, obviously it can lose to some of their top decks, but I think it would be bad to Snap Bolt. It seems like their draw has been pretty bad. We don't need to Snap Bolt until our turn, and I think we should do it on our turn to make their Angel's Graces worse. So let me just go ahead and attack. now for the counter on the dragon, but having a hard time envisioning a world where it matters when on our turn we do this. We'll just like make them cast an Angel's Grace this turn and every turn for the rest of the game. Snare hits Grand Abolisher and Thassa's Oracle and Pinted Prism. So it's a decent amount of stuff, yeah. And 4-1, awesome. You guys, get your channel points. Very cool.